My, what a pretty kitty. This is your look at the Diamond Select Catwoman Gallery Diorama statue. Following a troubled childhood, Selina Kyle was sent to an orphanage, but she eventually escaped and found her way into the seedy underbelly of Gotham City. Stealing to make ends meet, she discovered that she enjoyed it and began to wear a catsuit to accent her cat burglary. Running afoul of Batman, she grew to enjoy the game of cat and mouse, and often the two allied in the face of worse threats to Gotham City. This gallery diorama of Catwoman is based on the appearance in the DC Comics in the 1990s. It is cast in high-quality PVC and features detailed sculpting and collectible quality paint applications. It was designed by Sean Knapp and sculpted by James Massarno. Before we get a closer look at Catwoman, the first thing we're going to want to do is figure out how tall the actual gallery statue is. This one is a little bit smaller than perhaps some of the ones we've looked at before. Just how small? Let's stop the tape measure right there. According to the trusty readouts of my trusty tape measure, you're looking at the gallery statue of the 1990s Catwoman standing 6.4 inches in height. So she's about 6.5 inches in height. Switching that to centimeters, then you're looking at the statue standing 16.3 centimeters in height. Now, this particular statue of the 1990s Catwoman, I ended up having to order online. Didn't want to go that route, but unfortunately all my local comic book stores, and I tried about 4 of them, didn't have her in stock. They had long since sold out. So I had to do the next thing and order this one online, paid a little bit more for it, and of course I had to wait a lot longer for it to arrive. Now that it has arrived, let's get a closer look at Catwoman. I really like the way that this one is designed. There's a lot of stuff going on for it than just simply having Catwoman sitting there. Let's pick up the statue immediately, and obviously the first thing you'll probably notice is a couple of felines. There's 3 to be exact. You'll only see 2 right now, sitting in the cat bed. If you look a little bit further up, way up, you'll see the other cat perched on top of Catwoman's shoulder. This one has Catwoman sort of just lounging, I suppose, with the other felines inside of a giant cat bed. That's a pretty substantially large cat bed. Knowing how much cat beds go, I can imagine that this one would be several $100s, probably get this one all nice and comfy, cozy. Although there is no padding also inside this particular bed, so I can't imagine it'd be very comfortable for a cat to lay inside of it. Maybe it's like a little play area that the cats could be running around in. A nice touch that I do like is that even though it is gray plastic that they've used, even flipping it upside down, actually, you know what? It could very well be, it could be black plastic, but there's like a little bit of an airbrushing. I don't know if you can see it right around the edge here. So maybe it was starting as a gray plastic, and then they just painted the bottom end of it in black. Whatever the case may be, I do like the touch that the outer area of the cat bed is the same purple, or it's about the same purple, to the costume of Catwoman herself. That's a nice little touch. Little openings there that the little kitties can crawl themselves into the bed. Again, I probably would add a few pillows in there, I think, to make things a lot more comfortable. There's one of the cats right there. Nice, very nice metallic green eyes they painted on there. All the cats are all black. I guess going to the color scheme that Catwoman prefers her cats, to be more black. All of them are all that black color, with all the noted green colors on their eyes. They didn't really deviate too far away. Even though the sculpting of the cats are different from one another, this one's a little more of the poofier, heftier variety. This one's a little more skinnier. Different cat breeds. I don't know what kind of cat that would be. Would that be a Persian cat? And that may be something closer to a Siamese. I'm not going to start guessing cat species. But you get the idea that all of them are kind of unique to one another. All of them are very different, and all of them have very much different sculpts going for them. And I think that's a really nice touch. Again, flipping it upside down, I still think this is airbrushed, or airbrushed spray painted on, done in black. You can sort of also see where the cats have all been pegged into place, including also the largest cat of the 4. And that would be, of course, Catwoman in the middle. Of course, the star of the show would be Catwoman herself, and a nice pretty portrait I think they've sculpted for her. I'm always one that likes to spin his statues around and sort of see it from all sides. I think it's also one of those cases where I think the statue suits its best look by having it straightforward, or at least the point where you're seeing Catwoman's full face. I think you get the much more prettier expression when you're seeing it this way. I mean, when you turn it to the side, I feel it loses a little bit. It still has a nice pretty sculpt to it, but I'm definitely looking forward more so to displaying it straight on. You can see that they've sculpted quite nice eyes on her. The airbrushing also of the more kind of a tanned color eyeshadow that they've bought right around the areas of her eyes. A little bit darker than the rest of her face. Nice touch also is the fact that they kept the mouth partially open. So you see there's a little bit of visible teeth. I suppose they could have saw this opportunity at also just sculpting the mouth completely shut. But it's interesting also that it doesn't look like the makeup, the lipstick covers her lips completely, as there's these little cornered sections right here. That more could be the preference of Catwoman, and not necessarily the preference of Diamond Select. But overall, a nice looking head sculpt. Nice touch also is the fact that they've got the hair kind of blowing off to the side. I'm not really sure what necessarily is blowing it. I don't know if the cat bed is outside or if the window is open next door, just right here, and it's blowing the hair to the side here. It could also be the case that the cat just has jumped up and has caused just enough of a current that it's blown her hair forward. Whatever the story may be, I do like the fact that the hair is sculpted off to the side instead of just having it draping down to the front. Again, the paint is really good and nice and clean on this one. Again, the coloring on the eyes and the ears, more so the cat cowl ears. I like that they've added this little bit of dark purple sprayed on there as well. That's a really nice touch, especially like right here. You can see just the areas around the cheek and the area right above the opening of the eye sockets. They've added this nice darker purple, and that really does work quite well. Of course, this is more the traditional 1990s Catwoman, a preferred look for me. I've always liked the design of Catwoman's costume for the 1990s. Not to say that I didn't like the one that Jim Lee introduced during around the Hush era, but I do like this one, I think, a lot more. It's just more traditional, it's the Catwoman I grew up reading in the comics, especially when she had her standalone Catwoman series. But like I said, this one has her sort of crouched down. She has her high heels and more a very, very skin-tight costume, all done in purple here. With, again, all those little noted areas in a darker purple. Really does nicely stand out. Ironically enough, though, she's not petting any one of the cats. It's almost like she's kind of hanging out with the rest of them, but she's not actually petting them. So it kind of makes me think that she feels like she is one of the other cats that are all in this pen, that she is the rest of the felines, that somebody is now walking into the room and seeing these two cats, the larger cat and then the cat there on her shoulder. Like the sculpting also that they put into the elbowed area, and even like the areas around the hands, where the hands would normally bend at the areas of the knuckles, where of course the finger is pushed down against the flat bedded area of the cat bed. I like the fact it's got that natural bend to it. You can also see that they've sculpted in some fingernails. So really a lot of good stuff going on with this particular statue. Yes, it is a little on the smaller side, but don't let its size distract and detract you away from wanting to pick this one up, as we certainly don't have a lot of Catwoman statues. Specifically, we don't have even a lot of 1990s Catwoman. That's even more the smaller niche. But I do like the fact that they did give us a 1990s version of Catwoman. Lots of cool detailing there on the back, the darker colors of the purple, all things that we've come into play. And again, you've got that darker color of the sleeves on her gloves and the areas of her boots. Ironically enough, it's the only areas on this particular statue that don't have any additional coloring. Both the cats in the black and any areas that's black on Catwoman, that is including also her hair, are all very kept to one single color of black. I didn't feel the need to add any additional coloring to it. It sort of keeps it more like an art piece, where it looks like it was pulled from the panels of the comic. And that's maybe one of the reasonings why I also like the statue quite a bit as well. In the last little while, we've been getting ourselves a ton of gallery diorama statues focused on Batman's classic rogues. In the last review, of course, we had a look at the classic costume of Scarecrow. I love the design of that particular statue. In this review, of course, we're looking at another classic, the 1990s purple costume Catwoman. There's also a Penguin and a Nightfall Bane, two statues that are on the top of my list of statues I want to pick up and add to my personal collection. So definitely, if you're a big fan of Batman, now's the time to be getting into this gallery diorama statue collecting. Not only being that they're made of plastic, they're super affordable and easy on your budget. And again, like they've got some really great designs going on right now, featuring Batman's Rogues Gallery. Now, when it comes to Catwoman here, a lot of people, I think, favor the design of the Hush Catwoman costume, with the shorter hair and, of course, the purple outfit with the smaller cowl. But there's something to be said still for the 1990s design. This is one that was around that Nightfall time frame, and then she did also have a standalone comic run where she was also wearing this costume. And I don't think there's nearly enough love for this purple costume Catwoman. We've gotten a couple of figures recently, but not really much of anything else. So I'm glad when it came time to produce a gallery diorama statue of everybody's favorite feline, Diamond Select went the route of going the purple costume instead of the go-to that everybody goes to with the more hush costume design. So thank you, Diamond Select, for giving me a purple costumed Catwoman. She does look really nice. Just as a side note, though, I don't think that cat bed looks nearly comfortable enough. They should have put a couple of little pillows in there so these feline friends of hers could actually nestle down and fall asleep. Despite that, though, the rest of the statue turned out really good. And I'm glad that they didn't just give us a standing Catwoman. Instead, they have a more playful-looking Catwoman sitting down in the cat bed with the rest of her cats. That looks pretty cool. What do you guys think of the statue? Let me know down below in the comments section whether you've picked this one up for yourself or based on this review and this review alone. Again, I had to find this online. Unfortunately, I couldn't find this at my local comic book store. They had just since sold out. The gentleman said he could order one in for me, but I couldn't wait. I had to order this one online instead. If you guys are fans of this channel, enjoying the content you're seeing, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Muchos gracias. Consider the idea of hitting that subscribe button down below and, of course, turning that bell notification on. Don't worry, don't worry. I know what you're thinking. The last person just rang that bell. I don't know if I want to be coming near that. Don't worry. I sanitize it every single time. I've got rubber gloves up to my elbows, and I've got spray sanitizer, so you should be okay. That joke will mean nothing several years from now. Let's hope several years now we can look back on this and all chuckle. Not really chuckle, but we can at least look at the fact that this horrible thing that's going on in the world right now is long since past, and everybody's going to be talking about, why is he talking about sanitizer in this review? Let's hope that being the case. Keeping in mind as well that Monday to Friday, 12 p.m. and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, new videos will be popping up onto this channel. So if you want to come back to this channel during those times, 12 p.m. and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we also do a whole bunch of premieres going on here as well. Lots of fun to be had. Monday to Friday, 12 p.m. and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm going to be having a look at a whole bunch of Diamond Select statues lined up and coming your way. So keep your peepers peeled for that. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.